Mobile is growing like crazy, and it seems to be the trend here at Fiksu as well. What does the future hold for mobile, and more specifically for Fiksu?
Very, very exciting times for mobile. There is still a bit of a gap in terms of how much digital dollars are actually flowing into the mobile space. For example, it's about 20% of people's usage of media consumption overall, including TV and newspapers and all of that, and yet only 4% of spend. So obviously there's a huge imbalance here, and it's only going to take a few years for that imbalance to actually rectify itself. That points to very significant continued growth in the mobile space, which is very, very exciting times for us. As far as the company itself goes, as far as Fiksu itself goes, we're growing quickly. We'll continue to grow quickly, outpacing the growth of an already fast-growing marketplace.
As more and more media consumption shifts to mobile, as you mentioned, more and more data is now becoming available on mobile. And as it just so happens, data is one of our biggest assets here at Fiksu. So how do you see us using this data now and into the future to help conquer some of the biggest challenges in mobile marketing?
Here at Fiksu, we have built our platform from the ground up, from day one, as a mobile-first technology platform. And as a result of that, we handle data exactly the right way for the mobile space. The amount of data that is available and really necessary to utilize in the mobile space is absolutely astounding. What we do at Fiksu is we take this data and we use the data to define audiences. And these audiences could be just straight up user acquisition for mobile apps, audiences defined for that. They could be retargeting and re-engagement. They could be specific types of audiences that we're trying to reach within the ecosystem for specific purposes. And then we use our unparalleled programmatic reach into the ecosystem to find those audiences.
You mentioned programmatic, which can often seem like a scary word to many people, oftentimes because they just don't quite understand what it means. How would you define programmatic, and why has it been such a big differentiator for what we do here at Fiksu?
So programmatic is a term, a phrase that different people have different definitions for. So I'll give my definition for it. Which is anytime that you're using an automated process to make placement decisions of buying inventory in a closed loop fashion. So it's not just about making the placement decision, but it's getting feedback as to was that advertising placement decision successful or not, and having that feedback into the system and making future decisions have future decisions based on that feedback. And I think the key thing about this definition is that it goes beyond real-time bidding. A lot of people think of programmatic and real-time bidding really as equivalent things, and that's really not the case. There's real-time bidding is a very important piece of programmatic, and it can be very powerful. You're able to make very fine-grained buying decisions, which can be very powerful. But there's increasingly programmatic buying opportunities where you don't get impression-level information. And it turns out that there's some fundamental reasons why this will continue to be the case. There's a number of large players. Think of Google, Facebook, Twitter, that have targeting options that they perhaps don't want to expose on an impression by impression level to the ecosystem, and yet they do want to automate the buying process as much as possible. In these cases, they're moving more and more towards supporting programmatic buying that's not real-time bidding. And here at Fiksu, we're very well positioned to handle both types of programmatic buying.